Go.
Hello, today is the 19th day of the Omer. Today's topic will be minimizing speech. The Mishnah tells us in Parak Kinyan Torah this parak that we've been learning, the simple words miyat sicha, which literally means cutting down on the amount of speech somebody does. Now clearly that doesn't mean that we're talking about speech that would otherwise be forbidden, because the Mishnah wouldn't have to tell us that. It would be obvious. So we must be talking here about unnecessary speech, idle speech, or speech that is just completely unproductive. Otherwise, there would be no need to have this Mishnah. There is a funny sign that I once saw that says, do not engage your mouth unless you are certain that your brain is in gear. And the point of that sign obviously is that you have to be very careful what comes out of your mouth, because if something comes out of your mouth that is not productive, it could lead to tremendous things. Of course, we know things like lashon hara and other things. There are many averos that are related to unproductive speech. And the fact is that the Torah itself is very careful to say things in very succinct ways. We know that many mitzvahs are learned just from single letters or single words in the Torah. Vav at the beginning of the word, a vav at the end of the word. We could learn many halachos just from single letters. And that teaches us the importance of being succinct and minimizing what we say. And we know Rashi himself is very famous for being able to say very many things, a lot of halachas, a lot of important thoughts, by using very short words. I once heard a story, unfortunately I don't remember exactly the details, but Rabbi Krohn once told a story. He was giving a speech somewhere, or somebody was giving a speech somewhere, and there was a huge audience, and there was a girl in the front of the crowd who was basically crying the entire time. And at the end of the speech, he went to her and said, why are you crying? And she basically told him, or she didn't tell him, she was a mute, she couldn't speak, and she was crying about the fact that she wasn't able to communicate and tell people certain things. And he said to her that you have to understand that people who are mute, who don't have the ability to speak, are some of the smartest people in the world. Because if you can't speak, that means you're required to listen. And if you listen, you learn a lot more than when you have the ability to speak. Because when you speak, you interrupt people, you don't really understand what exactly they're saying, and you can certainly learn a lot more that way. So what we've learned here is that part of miyat sicha, which is minimizing speech, is also the ability to listen. And by listening, you learn a lot of things. The question is really, how does this apply to Parak Kinyan Torah? How does this apply to the ability to acquire Torah? Because if you look in other parts of this Mishnah, the Mishnah does mention other things that do require speech. For example, pilpul talmidim, the discussion, the debate between people that are learning. So there are areas where it does seem the Mishnah does require us to speak. So how do you explain the fact that this part of the Mishnah seems to say you should minimize your speech, where in other parts of the Mishnah it's very clear that you should be speaking? So the answer is obviously that the chiddush of the Mishnah here is that even while in your learning, it's important that you minimize and you only say what is necessary to be said. That the critical ability to acquire Torah is the ability to listen and not just to speak. If you look in the first parak, of the Mishnayos, I apologize. If you look at the first parak of the Mishnah of Maseches Avos, the Mishnah Yud Zayin says, Shimon ben Omer, Shimon his son says, Kol yomai gadalti ben chachamim, all my days I grew up among Talmidei Chacham. V'lo matzasi l'guf tov elam shtika. The best person I found, literally the body I found, were people that were quiet. So you see, even with Talmidei Chachamim, this ability to say things that are only necessary to be said and not to be saying things that are not unnecessary is a critical part of being a Talmid Chacham. And the Medrash actually says, related to this Mishnah, that if speech costs one, then silence costs two, which teaches you that obviously silence, being quiet, is more valuable than the ability to speak. So again, to become wise, the Mishnah is telling us that listening is a very necessary component. If we interrupt people, we don't necessarily understand fully what they're saying, and we don't have the ability to really understand the message that people are trying to give us. And it's interesting that we teach our children how to speak, but we don't teach our children how to listen, which is a very, very important component in education. So just to recap very quickly, there are two parts to minimizing speech. The first part is only saying what is necessary to be said, and then also the ability to listen. And hopefully with those two attributes, we should be able to acquire Torah. Have a good day.